Hello, everyone. This time we're going to focus on Creality maintenance. Before we get started, I might have said this before, but I'm going to recommend that you get a good printer. And anytime you buy something, when it comes in, use your printer to print a label that has the serial number of the unit that you got, the order number if you've got it, and the purchase date. All right. You also probably want to put that in a spreadsheet as well. But the reason I say to put it on the device is then the first thing you're going to grab if you need to put a warranty claim in is the device, right? That's what you're looking at to put the claim in. And if you've got the sticker on there and it's in an unobtrusive space, you can just go get the information off of that. A lot of the serial numbers are very small. And once you've got something installed where you want it to be, you may not easily get to where the serial number is, right? So by having this someplace that's, not straight visible, it's not like on the front of the device, but it's at some place that you can get to it easily. It'll make life easier for you. And having a spreadsheet also will make it easier if you need to correspond to the companies. So I've said that before, I believe, and just wanted to reiterate that today as I talk about doing maintenance on a Creality K2. Now, specifically, I want to talk about working on the head. So the head is the part that's going to extrude the information, extrude the filament onto the platter. In order for it to work, there's a pair of gears in there that's going to grab onto the filament and pull it down. If you've ever had your filament come back and you feel the bottom of it, you got those little ridges on it. That's where the ridges are coming from. It's coming from it being pulled between these two gears. And those gears push it down into the head, which is going to heat it and make the smaller extrusion of the material onto the plate. So with the Creality, there's several things you have to keep an eye on when you work on it. First thing I will highly recommend is that you go to Amazon or wherever you're going to get your Creality stuff from and look for a replacement face, right? This has a gear in it, the spring, and it's the face plate for where the extrusion gears are. It's the extrusion face. So you're going to get one of those just because there's a spring in there that isn't protected from popping loose. And I took the head off a couple of times and didn't think anything of it until I lost the spring. And then I had to order a new extrude face. So that spring, once out, you're not going to get it back if you can find it. It's in under high pressure and it's in a very small spot. If you can get it in, let me know, and good on you. There's no way I could figure out to get the spring in once I found where the spring had finally ended up. And seeing as I've done that twice, I now have a spare that I keep around. Now, when that comes in, it's just the face. You're going to have to grab the other gear out of the previous unit, as well as the cutter at the bottom. Now, the cutter, in this case, the device swings over to the side, presses against that cutter plate that pushes across your filament, cutting it off. So that is necessary for separating the filament from the rest of the spool. And that's done in that extrude head, which is above the print head, which is above the head that's going to heat up. Occasionally you'll get a break. When that happens, you've got a couple of things that could have happened there. It could have broken and everything's gone back in, right? Your filament's gone back onto the spool, everything's out of the way, and all you have to worry about is the head. To work on it, I'm going to suggest that you have a pair of pliers, and there's two ways that you can get the stuck filament out. Now, the Creality kit that they sell is a great kit, except for It could really use a pair of needle nose pliers, and it could use a couple more screwdrivers. The reason for that is if you need to take the, I've got CFS units, and the CFS units feed into a main device in the back that routes the 4 CFSs into a single feed to go into the printer itself. That device, the screws that are in there, I can't get in or out with the Creality head. It's too short. So I have to go with another screwdriver kit. If you've got a screwdriver kit set for working on PCs, you probably have what you need to handle the job. Add a pair of needle nose pliers. Now, the reason I use the needle nose is that I've seen 2 ways to clean out this head. First thing, once you take the extruder off, which takes 3 screws, you may still have filament in there, in which case you're going to have to pull the filament back out between the extruder gears, and you can pull that, push that bar back, which will take the tension off of that gear and allow you to slide things in and out easily. Be careful again, if that slides either way, if it starts to slide away from you, you could pop the spring out. So be careful when you do that. But once you've got that out, take that extruder out and look down where the filament would go and make sure that it's clear. Make sure you can see light. Hold it up to the light. Make sure that the light goes through. Now, if you replace the extruder, you're going to get a new pair of screws, but you're not going to get that little screw on the side, which of course is the smallest screw, and make sure you don't lose that one. That does not come with the extrude face kit. The only thing you get are the 2 front-facing screws. So once you've taken that apart, you've pulled out the Teflon tube at the top, cleared out and made sure that you can see through the filament there. Now you can look at the head. Now the head may have a little piece of filament stuck up from it. All right. Now what would normally happen is it's going to get cleared out as it does the extrusion and it does the head cleaning bit. But if it got stuck in there, you're going to want to heat your head up. So go into your control panel, set the head heat up to what your printing head temperature would be. And then you're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers and you're going to go in and see if you can grab onto that little bit that's sticking up and pull that out of the device. That'll make life a little easier for you. If you can't, or if it's down into the head a little further because it heated up and extruded some of that material, you're going to have to push it down. Now, in the Creality kit is a pin that has a plastic head to it. Now, this is where there's 2 ways that I've seen do it. First way, which I haven't tried yet, is to take a torch to it. I don't mean a lighter, I mean a torch. Heat up the end of it so when you push it down into the head, it's going to immediately melt the filament that's there and it'll cool it. And then when you pull it out, it's going to try to pull everything back out. You've already heated the head up, so it's not going to adhere to anything inside and you can pull it out. The other way to do it, the way I've been doing it, is to heat up the head and push the pin in slowly. And what you're doing is you're doing the same thing as the filament would do if the filament were pushed in. It's pushing the stuff into the head to extrude it out the bottom. You'll get an extrusion from it, but you're also going to get some material stuck to the pin. Perfectly fine. When you take that pin out, as soon as you pull the pin out, take that pair of needle nose pliers to it and carefully slide it down the shaft. All right. You may have to turn the pin a little bit to make sure that it comes off. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just work on it slowly because you don't want to bend the pin until you get the material off. And then go back in and put it in again. You're going to repeatedly do that. You can feel and hear for any sound that's being made to tell you that there's other filament already in place. And that way you can make sure that you've cleared everything out. It will extrude filament on the bottom, so that's how you know it's clear. And you're going to do that a few times to make sure that everything's done. Once that's clear, then you can put it all back together again. And if you didn't check before, now you've got the extrude head in your hand. Make sure that there's no filament in there and put it all back together. The other thing I would suggest that you do, if you see any filament in the tube, all right, so if when you took the extrude head out, there was still filament in the tube, especially if you needed to pull it out, once you've got it all back together again, hit your retract for that color and let the system pull that back out of itself. It's not something you want to do yourself. Just let the system handle it. If you have a CFS. If you don't, it's going to go to a spool anyway. You're going to have to pull it back yourself. But if you have a CFS, which I'm assuming most people who have a K2 do because they sell the kit at least with one CFS unit, just let it spin that back. That said, and of course bringing up the thing about the serial numbers and things at the front, if you need to call support, there's going to be a delay because they're in China. However, they were great. The parts shipped out of Texas, I believe. Got them rather quickly for the couple of issues that I had. Now, the issues that I had were not related to the head. First issue I had was, for some reason, the CFS unit thought that my filament was still active in slot A. I don't know why. There was something wrong with the tiny little circuit board that was in there. They sent me a new circuit board and I replaced it. Again, this is why I'm going to tell you to make sure that you have a screwdriver kit. For any of this stuff, you're going to want to have a good little screwdriver kit. The Creality one worked just fine for this particular purpose, but like I said, there's a couple of spots where it's a little easier to just use something else to get in there than the Creality kit. The head's a little bigger on the Creality setup. So once you get that, once the part came in, I swapped it, everything worked fine. It was just something with the motherboard, and it's quite possible it was an electrical surge or something that caused an issue. But their support was great. They took care of it. Had another second little issue at the top of the screw that turns to raise and lower the plate in a K2. There's this little plastic piece on the top. It looks like it could be printed easily enough if you had the specs for it. And for some reason, something caused it to pop out, and it damaged the head at the top. I couldn't find it anywhere. Asked support about it. They sent me one. No fuss, no muss. So Creality support's been good, but just like any of the 3D printers that you're going to get, you're probably going to end up doing some work on it yourself. There's some stuff online that's okay. There's some stuff that's a little bit iffy. If you can find something from Creality itself, it's your best bet. And if you can't find it, ask them. I've done that a couple of times, and they've sent me links to videos so I could see what needed to be done, so I could handle whatever issue it was that I had at the time. So they also have things in there for maintenance, such as replacing the Teflon tubes. 90% of that looks straightforward. There was just this one little tube I couldn't quite figure out, and it's actually done from the back and pulled out, which is why I didn't see it, because I was looking at it from the front. It's the tube that comes in and goes into the top part of the head. And I was looking at the maintenance plans, and the maintenance plans talked about replacing the tubes. And I'm like, well, how do I replace that tube? And that's how you do it. You have to unscrew the thing from the back, and it slides back out that way. So it was interesting. I thought it was a connector in the back, and it wasn't. It's just a pass-through. But they sent me a video, saw how it worked. Easy peasy. A lot of their stuff is straightforward and easy to do. But again, you're going to have a couple of extra tools around beforehand, and try to keep a couple of extra parts around for certain things if you can. I've got extra Teflon tube. Some of it's left over from what I cut when I was putting the units together, because I didn't want the tubes to be too long to go from point A to point B. But it's straightforward. It's easy to handle and easy to do, and you should have no trouble at all doing this stuff. Just get used to handling some of it, and you'll be all set. So that's what I got for you guys this week. I will talk to you all next week.